Guys, we have some very unfortunate news to talk about today. So, if you're a Super 7 fan or G.I. Joe fan, it might seem a little bit crushing, but let's just kind of get on with what's going on. So, here's a little statement right here. It says, "We're sorry to inform you that the pre order for the G.I. Joe Ultimates Wave 6 featuring Lady J, Baroness, and Scarlet figures has been canceled. Unfortunately, the requirements for this release going into production were not met." So honestly, at least for me personally, since I've never really seen this before, but it's kind of a big shocker when a company like Super 7 isn't really able to make these figures and without the requirements and all that. So of course, it definitely a lot of discussion for sure as to what the hell happened, because Super 7 is definitely a very weird company when it comes to stuff like this. Obviously they're very, very independent. I mean, obviously there's been conversations about like their prices and all that and the sort of materials. And of course, a lot of things, obviously. I mean, I've talked about them before as well. Not as much, but obviously, as someone who's talked about Super 7 before, and of course someone who loves G.I. Joe, yeah, of course it's going to want to warrant a little bit of a discussion. And here we go right here. This is where I originally found it. This was on the Toy Habits website Instagram account. This is where I first discovered it. So just to kind of give you an idea, because obviously these figures are really nice looking, but it's very unfortunate that these has to be canceled. So just to kind of give you an idea though, and of course I'm just going to show off some of the figures right here. I'm not even sure why. This just feels like a huge slap in the face, especially if you like these, because don't get me wrong, the figures themselves, you can still get them like the normal versions. These are technically the paint variants, but what makes them different is the accessories. So before I get onto that, these three particular figures, they're supposed to be based off of the 90s G.I. Joe series created by Deke Entertainment. I think it's called Entertainment. Well, whatever, you get the idea. Basically, after the original cartoon had ended in the 80s, and of course they had the big whole movie, there was a little slight continuation where a lot of the G.I. Joes were like very bright and colorful, and they definitely went for a more sort of friendlier aspect. And oh, Jesus Christ, look at that. How huge is her rack that she can hold that? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting way off topic, but anyway, yeah, so that's what they're supposed to be based off of, and obviously the G.I. Joe series, it's very underrated, but it's not hard to see why it's not talked about as much because of the whole sort of very friendlier demeanor. So you can obviously see it with the figures because of their very, very bright colors. And of course, it's a shame, really. I mean, that's the other thing that we had to talk about is how the hell that they have the sculpting for these figures, but they still weren't able to really make them due to whatever sort of requirements was needed. So, of course, this could go for anything, really. This could be a production issue. It could be, money-wise, because we know that Super 7 in the past has had issues, with money. I remember not too long ago, there was a huge, massive sale going on, especially for their Ninja Turtle figures, where they were going down to like 20 something or so. And mind you, these figures cost around like 55 bucks or so. And, if you're ordering them online, that's not even counting shipping or tax. So you can only imagine that for figures that are pretty decent looking, yeah, the price is ridiculously huge. And mind you, this is all just for one figure. It's not like you're getting an entire pack. So mind you, I think people that complain about price hikes with the Hasbro's Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe Classifieds, I think we owe them an apology, because unfortunately there's other companies that actually do 1,000 times worse. Now, I'm not here to talk crap about Super 7. I'm just here to talk about how sad it is to kind of see this where, and like I mentioned, some of the accessories that you just saw, especially the one with Baroness, because she's the one that's mostly like the most recognizable. Of course, the accessories are supposed to be like new towards these specific figures. So only one can wonder, if we're ever going to get these, at least the accessories, towards another figure or so in the future. Hard to really say, especially the Scarlet. I like the way she looks. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? This is definitely something that we could get into a further discussion, of course. I mean, there could be a chance that these figures might make a comeback, but then again, that's very, very hard to say. So, of course, we'll definitely continue on to the discussion with this, and of course, to talk about Super 7. And also, apparently, there was supposed to be a super pack of weapons. So, okay, that just makes it even more worse, honestly. Like, wow. Anyway, so until then, oops. Yeah, so we'll definitely talk more about it if more information comes along, because so far we don't really know what happened. So we'll definitely get on that as soon as more info comes. If not, then unfortunately, this is a very sad end to this wave. but it's okay. At least we got the G.I. Joe Classifieds Cobra Fair to look forward to, so that's okay. So I'll see you guys next time.